from Seoul, Korea, and welcome to the GSL Team League. Today, we have a very important match in the tournament. We have MVP up against NSH. I'm Casey. With me is Artosis. How are you doing, brother?
I'm doing greatly because this is going to be an amazing match. I cannot believe how the Team League has been going so far. Upsets left and right, Tasteless.
Yeah, it's actually been pretty wild. MVP is going to be coming out now. I don't think anybody expected MVP to get this far for NSH to do so well in the group stage.
Yeah, I mean, the teams they've been knocking out, man. We've seen TSL and IM knocked out recently. We have Prime in the finals. What? And then we're going to have one of these teams in the finals. What?
It's totally
what?
It's totally an obscure situation, I have to admit. I expected a team like TSL or IM to be here, deeper in the tournament. They're already out. Now we have MVP with Tails saving the day, showing Sonic and Knuckles that they're not so hot after all. In fact, he's the one in Grandmasters League.
That is true, Tasteless. That is very, very true indeed.
There's Tails' signature right there. Probably worth so much money right now. Tails, of course, defeating MVP, not the team, but the player, as well as NSH.
Dongre basically cleaning up the rest today. How will they do against this next team that's going to come out in a minute? We will see, but let's take a look at this team and their stats.
As you can see, the ace players, Dongre, Tails, and Genius.
They just added Tails since the last week.
I know, I was going to say, he wasn't there before, and they're like, well, I guess Tails is one of our best players. As you can see, initially, early on in the tournament, it was pretty close wins.
Yeah.
Close win against Slayers, a close win against the merge of OGS and Team Liquid. Very close win, or loss rather, against F United, excuse me. Then they started to really kick ass.
And then they got their asses kicked right after.
Yeah.
So it's been a rocky road, Tasteless, but you know what they say about Rocky Road? It's one of the best ice creams.
Wow. You just went there. The lineup is Keen, Guinea Pig, Noble Ass, Genius, Dongregu, Tails, Dream, and Monster. Pretty balanced race distribution here.
Tasteless, quick, make a sentence using all of those words.
Tails had a dream that he was a genius monster.
The noblest guinea pig has no tails, but he is a genius who's very keen of Dongre Goo.
Wow. Yours was actually much better than mine. Artosis well played.
Oh, I didn't get monster. Whatever, I could have done it if it hadn't gone away on the previous screen.
I know. The PD's being tough on us today.
Well, let's take a look at the NSH team, a team that has risen out of obscurity into being one of the strongest forces in the GSL.
Initially, I would have thought this would be about like a Tier 3 team. They don't really have much presence in the individual leagues. We hadn't really heard much about them before they came here to the GSTL.
In fact, one of their main players from before, Son, has actually left the team. And now we're just kind of waiting around to see what Sage is going to do, man. But they have some other sickos on there, too. You know, they have Jockji, they have Skull.
Son went to the military, right?
Nope, he's actually looking to join the corner team.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We also have just a lot of amazing players on Hoso that haven't been, up in the leagues yet. But Sage is climbing his way up the leagues very quickly because he is the biggest brain in Protoss.
He is.
He's basically Mother Brain.
Mother Brain.
Yep.
I killed her with freezing
He's Mother
beams.
Brain, and the other Protosses are just Metroids, all right?
As you can see, they're two ace players. These guys are actually scary as hell. Sage, just one of the most smart Protosses I've ever seen. He's just so intelligent. The way he handles the game is brilliant. And
the only players that really understand StarCraft 2 like him right now, in my opinion, are like NSH and MVP.
Yeah.
These three understand the game on a different level than anyone else from their race.
And Seal is, I don't know if he's currently, but I know last time we cast him at T-League, he was ranked #1 on the Korean ladder as Zerg.
Yeah, best Zerg.
That's actually, like, what?
Well, here we have another set of names here. Are we ready to try to make a sentence?
All right, let me go first. All right.
Do it.
Tassadar was in a fake shuttle that was fairly, actually, this is impossible. It was fairly...
All right, ready?
Well, Jockji and Skull, I don't know how to do that. Go.
Tassadar was in a fake shuttle. He was trying to real maker the shuttle, but that isn't proper English. Fairly enough,
so he had to Von the Sage.
Yeah, man.
It's like so stupid. Here is the MVP team coach. And now a shot of the NSH coach. This is a big deal for these two guys in their careers right now. We are kind of at a moment here where one of these two guys is going to be in the finals. And as a coach right now in StarCraft 2, in the most competitive team league in the world, that's pretty damn scary.
Well, we see that Prime beat. Well, I guess they aren't really showing. This was the first day. Prime took out Startail, and
the blacked out names are the teams that are dead.
Yeah.
So Prime on the
Prime
left.
is in the finals, basically.
It'll either be NSH against Prime or MVP against Prime.
Yep. Prime, of course, saved by the wonderful creator, Prime. If you haven't seen those games yet, check them out. If you're a Protoss creator, showing that great macro style. We've seen hints from him before in the team league. Being a total ass kicker. And Dongregoo.
He's wiggling.
Sicko he is,
He's getting
man.
wiggly. He's like, I'm actually so good at StarCraft. It looks like, is that Sage at the upper left?
It's actually the bottom left next to the coach.
So, this team right now, NSH is kind of a wild card team because you don't really, the players you're not generally familiar with, so it's kind of a weird situation where, like, I actually don't know who they're going to send out and how good they're going to be at times, but so far they've never failed to impress me.
Well, their roster does have 3 Protosses on it, one of which is Sage, so you got to think to yourself, okay, Sage probably told these guys exactly what to do today. If those Protosses are used, I'm sure at least one will be, because, in fact, he's starting for them. Teslar's starting for them. But they are going to come out with some good builds, most likely, because Sage is actually that smart.
I would say we generally identify NSH by their Protoss players.
Definitely.
And Seal.
Seal's very good. But you can't take much away from Jakchi and Sculpt. They're very
can't.
strong Terrans. They are capable of killing anyone.
Solid. I just identify more with the Protoss.
Oh, I definitely. It's a Protoss team.
It was a little bit more Protoss-y when they had Son as well.
Son and Von Vonth really started to bring their name up. Then they kind of both fell off, and now it's all about Sage, man. It's all about Sage.
I can't wait to see Sage used today.
Well, you're going to have to wait a long time. He's not going to last.
I need to copy his build so badly.
I've watched Sage's Code A VODs like 4 times each right now.
He's so good.
I just study every move this man makes.
You guys may not know this, but we're both Protoss players in the ladder, so actually we need to copy whatever he's doing. So we keep taking ladder points. How are you doing today, Artosis?
I am doing really well, actually. Thank you for asking.
I'm actually a little bit headachy today. I think I might be getting a migraine. I hope I don't get a migraine in this cast. You know what you don't want to do when you have a migraine is yell to a microphone. I may have to have somebody grab me some ibuprofen, but I am excited to be casting this game today.
Well, the Team League playoffs have been nothing short of spectacular so far.
I love the Team League. I love casting it. I love the drama, the comebacks you've seen, even the one-sided domination. It's so exciting.
Yeah, it's all really good, man. We're going to be starting out today with a Protoss versus Protoss. We're going to have Tassadar going up against Tails. Starting off Tails this time instead of finishing up with them.
You know what? Why not? Just put Tails out there. What if Tails knocks off a ton of their starter players, and then they have to bust out somebody like, let's say Sage. Let's just say Tails kills 3 players or something, and Sage has to come out. Well, then you snipe him, right?
Yeah.
Then you're like, all right, how's he playing? All right, you go in there, macro your ass off, make it a long game. If you win, good. If not, no problem, because he's going to be worn out by that game. Then send in the next guy. I think, though, it's at least what they're doing with Tails.
Yeah, it might be. I kind of like Tassadar going up against him. I think that's a good roll of the dice for NSH because Tassadar, when he hit the Code A finals against Puzzle, actually did a really good job. I mean, Puzzle ended up cleaning the floor with him, but Puzzle's like one of the best Protoss in the world. Tassadar, last I saw it, his PvP was very good. So we'll have to see if he still has that skill, especially on the new patch. It's a completely different world out there for PvP. And the map will be Antigua Shipyard. So it's a pretty fun map for PvP. It really makes for a lot of macro games, believe it or not.
No, it really does. I'm a little bit curious to see how PvP is going to be played with these two guys right now. The patch was released just recently. Did change a little bit of the Blink Stalker timings. And stuff like that, but it should be a pretty interesting game. And I do 100% agree with you, Artosis. You're so smart with Tassadar coming out first. He's solid enough. He's still a Protoss, so if they have to waste one Protoss sniper to get rid of him, let's say he starts to dominate, Well, then they still have their other Protosses they can use.
Well, here's Tails.
He's got, what is the maximum rings? Is it 99 or is it 100? That is a question.
I don't know.
That's actually
at
a tough
100 you
question.
probably get like a 1-up or something. I don't remember.
Sonic 2 was actually, I think, the best Sonic.
I never like really overplayed any of the Sonics. I only played Sonic 1 a lot, and I overplayed that.
Sonic 1 actually was really good, though.
It was.
Sonic
a
1
really
was
fun
actually
game.
really...
You know what was neat about it was that you only used the D-pad and one button.
Yeah.
And the whole game could be played, and it was a lot of fun.
Even though Nintendo was like, guess what? I mean, Sega was like, guess what, Nintendo? 3 buttons instead of 2. Like,
and then they counter with Super Nintendo, which has 4 buttons.
I know, and then eventually PlayStation comes out and they're like, buttons on the sides. Then Nintendo's like, I'm going to make a Nintendo 64 and the controller's going to look like a Fisher-Price toy.
And then Xbox comes out with their controller and you have to have shark fins to actually use it because it's so big. The shark fin controller.
Yeah, when Xbox came out, I felt like I was actually playing on a Game Gear.
I felt like I was trying to hold, like palm 2 basketballs while playing a video game. I'm like, my hands just actually aren't big enough for this controller. I don't know
my
what to
arms
do.
are actually tired of like holding it, like my biceps are flexing as I'm trying to play Halo. And I'm
And
like,
lay
wait
it
a
on the
minute,
table like a
FPS games are
keyboard.
better on a computer anyways, so I'm like, I don't get this. Sonic, let's see, Sonic 2 was good, Sonic 3. I'm trying to think which Sonic was disappointing. I think actually it might have been Sonic 3. I was disappointed. Sonic and
Sonic
Knuckles.
for the Wii is actually disappointing.
Well, all the new
I told
Sonic
the story
games
about
are
that
actually
already.
just like, it's like 3D and it's like a not interesting world, not interesting characters.
Dude, I actually just want side-scroller Sonics. Like, that's actually fun.
I actually, some games are meant to be played as platform games. It's like, it's okay. It's like some of these games go through like Nintendo 64 syndrome where it's like every game is going to be 3D. I'm like, it doesn't have to be 3D.
Although I did enjoy the Mario game that they released 3D for that. That was a nice change, but I'm glad they went back for Wii.
Yeah. The Mario games, they've actually, that is a lumbering giant that has lived through the ages. Sonic is actually like that, your favorite rock band, but now he's like addicted to heroin and when he plays at shows, he's drunk. You know what I mean? Yeah. All right. Head-to-head, Tails after quitting the Sonic franchise up against Tassadar, who's no longer in StarCraft 1 now. He's a StarCraft 2 pro gamer. Let's get ready. This is the GSL Team League with MVP up against NSH. Let's do it. All right, let's learn some build orders here in the bottom left starting location. We have MVP Tails. And in the opposite starting location, he died in StarCraft 1. We live in StarCraft 2.
You know, the NSH team is sponsored by Hoso Academy, and they actually live at the academy. They live in a school, like an academy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and you can show, man. It shows. You can tell Sage studies all day long his Protoss. But has Tassadar been studying? Because he did fall out of Code A this season, or August.
No.
Just August.
Yeah.
I forget what month it is from time to time, Tasis. Time has no meaning to me. All that matters is there GSL today, or is there only playing StarCraft today?
Or is it the day that you and I spend being hungover, feeling sorry for ourselves in our bed?
Or is it that day?
All right. Like that second pylon placement there behind the smoke screen. If I was to control this platform, I would have dug underneath the platform and turned off the smoke. I would have said, okay, what is causing that fire?
Well,
this can't be good for us.
You know what?
It's bad for our eyes and our lungs.
That's the changing pylon. Probes can go behind there to try on different clothes and change. And no one's going to see them.
That's the dressing room, is the place behind the smoke screen.
That's it. Why do you think...
That's actually where the Protoss toilet is like
why do you think
there?
when someone proxy pylons, he always puts it behind the smoke? Right? Because he's warping in Zealots, and I tell you what, man, they don't warp in with clothes on.
No.
When they're all shimmery and stuff, if you look real close, man, that is a naked Zealot right there.
But unfortunately, the naked Zealot is like a naked Barbie, you know? It's like... It's
totally sexy.
It's like totally sexy. It's totally like not a complete human being. It is totally asexual. All right.
So we do have both players going double gas. Tails is going for the 2-gate, 3-stalker rush to control the map with. Meanwhile, we only have the 1-gate for Tassadar. I prefer the 2-gate by far. But we'll have to see what Tassadar has planned with this 2-gate build. I mean, with this 1-gate build.
You know that the MVP team has to be, excuse me,
Probably
the
a
NS
Ro4
Socio team has to be saying to themselves, well, how good is Tails really? You know what I mean? Like,
let's be honest here. His game against MVP was great. He played phenomenally. Against NSH, he actually got extremely, extremely lucky. He was supposed to be dead. It was actually just a lucky move. Congrats to him for it, but it was luck.
Well, I mean, it was ultimately the fact that Nesty didn't
Nesty had
stop.
everything in place to stop everything.
All he had to do was actually to stop those DTs, and once he lost his
saw them
player,
and
it's like,
units
well,
next to them, but
he didn't react.
Yeah, he did not.
It's his fault more than Tails'
of course,
brilliant play.
But that means that, don't worry, this is not actually a GSL champion level guy, perhaps. You know. Well, we do have a Stargate going up, of course, for Tails. Meanwhile, we have 3-gate Robo play, rather, for Tassadar.
I am so bad with Phoenix builds PvP.
Oh, are you?
I don't mess with them.
Well, Tassadar is actually going Twilight Council as well, so we will be seeing Blink plus Observer, something that got really popular before the patch. Still is actually really good.
Probably the best PvP build, I think.
I think so.
I think it's like actual meta PvP. Now, he's not making a second Phoenix.
Yeah, this is a bit odd.
Can you explain this to me? Because I actually don't do Phoenix builds.
I think what we
matchup
see here
like,
is he just wanted to get that Robo up immediately. But he's going to have a pretty decent end of the build order. You know, Phoenix openings against the build that we see from Tassadar aren't terrible. It's going to give him, you know, Blink takes so long, it's going to give him some time that he has some pretty good control over the situation. And we're likely going to see a lot of Immortals pump out of this Robo. What you do is you go Immortal and Phoenix. They go Blink Stalker against the Phoenixes. Then you have all these Immortals which eat through their Stalkers like Tasteless eats through a Dunkin' Donut.
Oh, man, let me tell you something about donuts. They are so amazing.
See,
and you know, here's the funny thing. They're actually missing the center. It's like, how can you actually take something away? Because I wouldn't like donuts if they didn't have that
here's the
hole
genius behind it. They cut the center out and call it a munchkin.
I think they call it a donut hole.
Well, they're called munchkins
is actually,
at
I believe,
Dunkin'
like
Donuts.
a little kid. They call them munchkins?
Yeah, they do. It's called donut holes other places. Anyways, we do have this nice harassment coming in here. Going to start lifting some probes. So he's going to have to get out. Does not want to lose any of these. Now, the beauty of this is Phoenixes take forever to kill for a Stalker. They're light, so the Stalkers don't get their bonus damage. And really, Protoss doesn't have any great ground-to-air anti-air.
Yeah, that's actually a fundamental rule for Protoss, is their weak ground anti-air.
Now, this attack that we're going to be seeing from Tails is going to be just so powerful, Tasteless. I'm actually really fearful for Tassadar right now. I'm looking at what he has and what he's making, and I'm like, well, you're going to die. That's too bad. I'm sorry.
Really interesting build here from both of these guys.
Yeah, they're quite nice. But we do have, in fact, Tails is going to make a Nexus, so he's not going to all-in with this, which is something that you actually will see from time to time. An Immortal Phoenix all-in against an expanding Blink Protoss. And actually, that's what I would have liked to see. That's, you know, I feel that's a much stronger choice. If your opponent's actually... He's got all these units which are countered by what you have. You have like 3-4 Phoenix, several Immortals, and a bunch of Zealots. You're actually going to crush through what Tassadar has. Like crush through. And he has full scouting because he has the Phoenix. Yet he decides to just make a Nexus himself. I feel like Tails has definitely made a mistake here with that choice. But looks like he is going to attack now, so that's actually okay then.
No, he's turning around.
What
are you going to do?
I don't know.
Oh, he's going to go for DTs.
And that's actually really cool. Because, yeah, you have some Observers out, but Observer Phoenix is going to just rail on Observers so quickly. That's actually...
Yeah, this is something people have been doing.
There's a hilarious late-game unit composition that you can do. Speed Observers, Phoenixes, and DTs. And it's actually frighteningly strong because it kills Observers so quickly.
We got more gateways coming up here. And as that Nexus is complete, he'll be able to support those with ease. What you guys are seeing here, because we don't actually have very many PvPs like this is actually deep, complex meta PvP. I guarantee you, everybody in the USA server is like, what are these Koreans doing? Well, this is actually what the good players are doing on the Korean server. And it's better than what you guys are doing on your server, I'm sorry to say. It's true. I play on both.
Well, we do have a bunch of sentries from Tassadar over that ramp.
Oh my god, he's going to warp in DTs in the back. And then he's going to
snipe observers.
Come into the front.
Now, a good thing for Tassadar is the force fields can actually stop anything from coming up his ramp. So he can actually stop this army a little bit dead in his tracks at this point. So he's got good positioning, and that DT is going to be so powerful. Oh my god, and he's going back into his base.
It's worked.
Now you can just force field it. Oh man.
Yeah, all he has to do now is force field that ramp.
This unit composition is pretty strong from Tails. Good force fields, though.
I can't believe they actually ran out of energy. Or did they run out of energy? He could have actually blocked that in there.
Yeah, that's a little bit messy, but here we go, going at it again. And those DTs are going to be worth their weight in gold, I think, Tasteless. Look at this.
You might want to try, no, I guess not. I was going to say you might want to try picking something up with the Phoenixes. There's no observer over this.
And yeah, there is not any observer. He is making one.
I think actually Tassadar might have too many units.
Yeah, Tassadar has quite a few units here indeed. But those DTs are really being worthwhile. An observer does pop out, and it looks like Tails' army.
Oh, he's going to try to snipe the Nexus. I think it's so. He should get the Nexus here, but I think that Tassadar went to the counterattack. Oh!
Yeah, the counterattack should be golden here.
Yeah, both teams actually reacting wildly right now. He should actually go in there with the Phoenixes into the main and start picking up ropes, or at least do something to pressure him to turn around.
Well.
Oh, nice. One more DT in here.
Oh, very nice.
That might be what it takes.
That's going to at least slow him down. An observer does pop out, though. Now, you know, I'm kind of sad because Tails had a cool timing there where he could get up against those force fields and then even force field his opponent.
The ramp. Yeah, he never force fielded that ramp. I don't know why.
You can blink over it, but you're going to blink down into Zealots and Immortals and be out of position.
Can Tails hang on? He's probably going to need to bring his probes here.
I don't think there's any possibility of him actually holding on here.
Well, if he gets all these cannons up, actually, never mind.
The cannons aren't going to be very useful.
Never mind.
Yeah. Well, looks like Tassadar should be able to take this game down. An Immortal coming in, so he will have to probably run away as these Zealots come up and start railing on all his Stalkers.
Nice job here with the Immortal. He does blink out. He really needs to get an Observer and Stalkers and just kill off that the opposing Observer. All right, looks like the entrance is fine now with those cannons. This is why Blink Stalker's so good in the mid-game for PvP. I almost feel like we called the mid-game actually the late game because PvP is the shortest matchup.
Well, it's certainly becoming longer lately. We see really nice Stalker harassment right now. Just going to pick off so much here. You know, once there's a good number of Blink Stalkers, Zealots are going to be a lot less useful if they do not have charge. Really not doing very much.
Played really well this game.
Yeah, he did.
Nice, look at that. Okay, one DT coming in here. Is he prepared? Yeah, he is actually, as an Observer. It's not as exciting as it was supposed to be after all. Okay.
Yeah. Well, this is basically it. We are going to see Tails have to GG here momentarily.
Yep. Way too many
with a very strong start.
I think if he was going to do that timing attack, he should not have been in Nexus right before he attacked. You don't make a Nexus and then attack.
And the thing is, it wasn't make Nexus then attack. It was make Nexus, sit there for a minute, and then attack. And that makes even less sense than make Nexus then attack.
Yeah.
Attack and then make Nexus. That's a great move. You like to cover things like that. But if you're actually watching someone, because you have full scouting, go for a Nexus plus Blink Stalkers, you're flying around, you see it all, and you have Phoenix, Immortal, Zealot. You can just kind of walk up into their natural. He waited until his opponent got to warp in some more sentries, got into a great position that you could use force fields very well. But if he had gone up there like immediately with this, seeing that the build was completely countered by what he was doing, I feel like Tails would have taken that game. He would have put a nice little contain on for a moment, hold the ramp, make a Nexus cancel at the minimum. At the minimum. I mean, what is he going to be afraid of at this point? The Stalkers could blink out and go harass him some, but at home, he's still making some Immortals and whatnot. I don't like how Tails played that out. I like the strategy. I think it's a cool strategy. It's a good strategy.
The concept
I don't
was
like
good.
how he did
the
it.
execution was terrible. And even there was even a moment where he could have force fielded the ramp. I just want to keep going back to that because even though his timing wasn't like that good, why didn't he force field that ramp? It cut off some of those units.
He's probably thinking, oh, well, there's Blink. But, I mean, if it's just Stalkers against you, you're going to be happier. I don't know.
It screws up the ability to micro in general.
I feel like Tails slightly dropped the ball, and Tassadar was pretty much on top of it the whole time.
Yeah.
So, Tasteless, your MVP. Who do you bring out against Tassadar?
I actually have no idea. I have no idea. It's actually really hard when you think about it. I mean, do you bring out Don Gregu?
So. No, you save him for Sage. I would say bring a Terran out right now. Bring a Terran. Do it.
Who's it going to be?
Who's that?
Who's that? I don't know who that is. That's Keen.
Yeah, Terran. There you go. Tess starts to laugh. He's like,
you fool.
well,
All right,
well.
so that makes sense, actually. Keen, their most handsome player.
You think so?
I think so.
I don't know. I equate looks with skill. So for me, Don Gregu is like a supermodel. Not as handsome as next year MVP, but pretty far up there.
I think Keen is a really good choice here. And this should be a pretty interesting game here. I do think Keen can take out somebody like Tassadar.
Yeah, I think this is actually a good match, to be honest. I think Keen's a little bit better than Tassadar overall.
Yeah,
but he's making it on Zelnaga Fortress, which is going to help him out a lot as well. Definitely could go either way. I think it's going to be a good match, but I'm giving the edge to Keen here. No doubt about that.
Yeah, Keen is just an overall good pick.
Artosis' edge has been given to Keen. It's like a sword. It's like a mythical sword. Gives you plus 5 to win a match.
It's like your Excalibur nerd sword.
That's it, man. You're more likely to beat your opponent if you have Artosis' edge.
Like the Mass Immune from Chrono Trigger. You never played Chrono Trigger, did you?
No, I didn't.
That's too bad. Actually, you would like that game.
I know I would. A lot of my friends played it back when it was new. It
was good.
I almost played it, but I was playing some other games at the time, and then I just was too into StarCraft eventually. So.
Yeah, StarCraft did that for me, too. I was playing all these games, and eventually I'm like, wait a minute. StarCraft's actually the best game in the world.
Yeah. For a little bit, I was playing StarCraft in other games, and then I was just like, wait a minute. Instead of playing other games, I can just play more StarCraft. It was the greatest.
Right, we're going to do the interview now.
버거웃에 나와 있는데요.
with the
먼저
coaches.
MVP의 최윤상 감독 만나보도록 하겠습니다. 감독님 안녕하세요.
예, 안녕하세요.
This is the MVP coach.
지난주에 MVP 팀이 보여줬던 그 역전의 드라마 아직도 생생합니다.
예.
일주일 동안 정말 기분 좋게 지내셨을 것 같은데 어떻게 보내셨나요?
예, 기분 좋게 지냈는데 NS 호서전이 걱정돼서
네네.
그렇게 편하게 지내지는 못했고요. 예, 준비하느라 좀 신경 좀.
네, 1세트 아깝게 좀 지긴 했지만 그래도
예.
Over the past week, he was really busy preparing for this match.
그렇죠.
He was really happy with the win last week, but he still had a hard
정말
time
강한 팀입니다. 어떻게 준비를 하셨는지 궁금하네요.
because he knew he had a hard match coming up.
뭐 여러분도 아시다시피 저희 팀 색깔이 선트리라서
네.
선수들이 나가고 싶은 선수들 중심으로 내보낼 거고요. 결정적인 상황이 아닌 이상 선수들에게 맡길 생각입니다.
네, 알겠습니다. 플레이오프까지 온 이상 2회 연속 결승 진출 굉장히 욕심이 나실 것 같습니다.
예.
어떠신가요? 자신 있으신가요?
예, 자신 있습니다. 일단 지난 대회 때는
He lets the players actually choose their own games.
생각지도 못했는데 결승까지 진출해서 좀 그랬는데 이번에는 준비도 한 만큼 다시 한번 결승에 올라가 보고 싶습니다.
네, 멋진 경기 기대하겠고요. 마지막으로
Last time he didn't know he was going to
비너스
get to the
디비전
finals,
1위입니다.
so he
NS
wasn't quite
호서
prepared
팀의
for it. But this
박영식
time,
감독
he's worked
팀에게
really
한 말씀
hard.
해주시죠.
So he hopes
사실
to.
NS 호서전은 처음이라 사실 준비하기도 굉장히 힘들었고요.
네네.
그런데 지금 뭐 분위기를 보면 일단 주피터 리그가 비너스 리그보다 잘 올라가는 추세잖아요.
네, 한 팀 남았습니다.
예.
비너스 리그. 네.
네, 저희도 따라서 올라가겠습니다.
네, 알겠습니다. 멋진 경기 기대하겠습니다.
네,
고맙습니다.
감사합니다.
네.
The team will try their hardest to get to the finals this time
감독을
around.
만나봤습니다. 이제 NS 호서 더그아웃으로 자리를 이동해 보도록 하겠습니다.
Global StarCraft Team League Artosis. That's where we are. We need Wolf in here.
Don't worry, he heard you somewhere in Seoul and he just howled back.
네, 박용식 감독님.
All right, now we will go to the NS Oso coach.
네, 페널티 레이스 끝내고 굉장히 긴 시간이 있었어요. 어떻게 지내셨어요?
네. 개인 리그 연습도 하고 그리고 뭐 WCG도 올라간 선수도 있어서 연습을 하고요. 아무래도 GSTL 저희가 4강에 올라간 만큼 그걸 중점적으로 연습할 수 있는 시간 좀 여유가 있었던 것 같아요. 시간이 워낙 길어서. 네.
네, 어제 펼쳐졌던
The team has
프라임과
worked really hard for this. They had a long time of not playing because
프라임이
they won the league last
TS를
time.
잡았단 말이죠. 어떻게 경기를 보셨는지 궁금합니다.
네, 정말 스코어가 지금 저희가 한판 뭐 이긴 상태긴 한데 스코어가 앞서간다고 해서 정말 방심할 수 없구나.
They're going to work really hard this time around to get to the finals.
깨달은 만큼 준비를 열심히 해서 끝까지 긴장을 늦추지 않도록 하겠습니다.
네, MVP 팀 요즘 기세가 정말 좋은데요. MVP 팀을 맞이해서 어떤 전략과 또 대비를 하셨는지.
They've always been preparing really hard for the games.
네, 변수가
So they will
많은
not lose this time around.
팀이기 때문에 어떤 특정 상대를 이제 스나이핑할 선수를 준비한다기보다도 그 선수 이제 컨디션을 제일 좋게 하기 위해서 여러 종족전을 다양하게 준비를 했어요. 그래서 오늘은 정말 누가 또 어떤 선수가 그 영웅이 될지 저도 참 궁금하네요.
네, 저도 궁금합니다. 네, 마지막으로 MVP 최윤상 감독님께 한마디 해주시죠.
네, 감독님 오늘
They prepared for every possible
결승에 어느
game that
팀이
could occur.
올라가든 우승을
So they're
하도록
very well prepared for
하는
this
그런
match.
기원을 서로 해주는 그런 경기가 됐으면 좋겠고요. 그 저번에 보여주신 드라마는 이제 저희가 끝내고 저희가 결승을 가서 저희가 드라마를 한번 써보겠습니다. 네,
네, 고맙습니다. 감사합니다. 네, 과연 어떤 팀이
We've seen the
드라마를
matches
쓰게
of
될지
MVP.
저도 정말 궁금해지는데요. 2세트 어떤 팀이
We've really
가져갈지까지 지켜봐 주시기
how the
바랍니다.
drama
저는
unfolded
잠시 후에
last
뵙도록
week.
하겠습니다.
This time we're going to end that and get into the finals. Just imagine drinking beer out of that trophy, Artosis. Just
That's
imagine.
right.
All the glory.
All the glory of
The
drinking beer out of
aluminum
that.
taste on your
Imagine
mouth.
that's all heavy and awkward, and like you start to
Your
try
arms,
to
like,
drink it, it
shaking,
just
you're like-
goes all down
It just like
onto your
goes
shirt.
over your cheeks like
Yeah.
this.
Imagine that. That's what I would
Imagine
do.
how awesome that would be.
Imagine the next morning you go into the kitchen and someone's washed out and they're washing their hair in it.
You're like, no, my drinking trophy's ruined. Like,
Yeah.
Grandma's got her hot water in there and her feet are in there. Did your grandma ever do that?
Yeah.
Why do grandmas
Not in my
do that?
trophies.
Not your well, no, not in my trophies either. I never had any trophies because I was never a winner as a kid. Oh. But why do grandmas do that? They get like a tub of hot water and they put
Probably to get rid of the bunions.
I know. Oh, you're so funny. All right. Game number 2 will be on Zelnaga Fortress. Keen against Tassadar. I think this is going to be pretty interesting. I think it'll be tough for Tassadar, but he still can win. He's got to be pretty high off that last victory. All right, I'm
True
Tasteless.
indeed.
With me is Artosis. Who will get the drinking trophy? We're going to find out soon. Here at the GSL team. Actually, I guess we find out in the finals. Actually, this is my worst outro yet. Where's my time machine? All right,
It's right next to your sign.